So I currently make between $40,000 to $50,000 per month in the high ticket sales space. And I went from literally zero a couple of years ago, living at home with my parents being dead broke, to now making this type of money. And throughout this journey, obviously tried so many different tricks and tactics, everything that you've heard about online, all the scripts, all the fancy objection handles and the pre-handling objections and the different tactics, all that shit. I found one simple thing, one simple trick that actually works, that actually has given me insane results that I apply on every single sales call that I take, that really changed the game for me when it comes to the money that I made in high ticket sales. And I want to share with you what that is in this video, because I've noticed that this is by far more important than anything else. The scripts, the tactics, the pre-handling objections, all the fancy reels that you see on Instagram of people using these cool objection handles. This one thing I'm going to share with you in this video is 10 times more important than all of that other shit. And without this, I would even go so far as to say that those other tactics do not work. It's going to do more harm than good applying those other tactics. And what this is, it's not a script, it's not some word track, it's not some objection handle. What it is understanding the fundamentals of sales. So what is sales actually about? Is it about the words you say? Is it about the script you follow? No, it's not. And I'm saying this because I did all that shit. Like back in the day, I used to have the script. I invested thousands of dollars to get that script from one of the most well-known and biggest guys in the industry. So I had the script, I had the sales tactics, I had everything in place. But in the beginning, when I was new in high ticket sales, I still struggled to close. Then I learned the thing I'm going to share with you in this video, and I went from zero to my first 10K in 3 months. Sales got fairly easy. I didn't have to be attached to a script. I was able to show up to my calls in a way more natural, way more authentic way, which, as if you know anything about high ticket sales, being authentic is one of the most important things. All of this came down, and my huge jump in income came down to me just dialing in this one thing. And what it is simply understanding that your identity, who you are, is what dictates how you sell. Think about it yourself. If you were to hop on a sales call and talk to someone, and that person you're talking to is not in alignment, let's say you're, for example, they're selling like a fitness offer, and the person is overweight. Would you buy from that person? No, you wouldn't. If you're talking to someone who's selling like a make money online offer, but that person is not willing to take risks, that person has never invested in themselves, that person has never even tried to make money online, would you buy from that person? No, you wouldn't. That's where this starts. That's the thing that I understood. And when I changed it, I'm going to share with you exactly what I did specifically in this video. But when I realized this, it was a huge mindset shift for me. It's not about the sales tactics. It's not even about what you say. You can have this high ticket sales rep who has like the perfect script, the perfect sales tactics, but they're completely unaligned with who they want their prospects to be. And they're not going to sell nearly as well as the person who has never learned, never been through a sales training, but is completely aligned with what the prospects want. For example, if they're selling a fitness offer, the person has the perfect mindset when it comes to fitness. They're perfectly in alignment. Or if they're selling a make money online offer, teaching people how to make money with drop shipping or trading or whatever it is, they are fully in alignment with who they want their prospects to be. Prospects will start buying from you. Sales becomes easy when you are the prospect that you want to attract. And this is a huge thing that I had to realize for myself, because I used to try to get into high ticket sales without really investing in myself, without investing into a high ticket program, while taking slow decisions, while constantly thinking about risky decisions, while pushing off uncomfortable conversations. I did this for a long amount of time. I was bad at communicating. I didn't express my own emotions, and I was showing up to sales calls expecting people to open up and share their deepest insecurities and fears with me. It does not work that way. And I see so many beginners right now, like so many people overall, they think that they can get to high ticket sales without ever investing in yourself, ever investing more than $500 into a low ticket course. Or they think that they can sell to this like super advanced and successful people without you yourself being aligned and taking risks yourself, making quick and effective decisions yourself. It's not going to work that way. Your alignment and who you are is how you sell. If you yourself are not willing to do stuff, you cannot convince someone else. You cannot lead someone else to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Your internal belief is what's transferred to the other person in a sales call. What does it mean? If you need to have an internal belief and transfer it to someone else, guess what? You need to have that belief first off. You cannot transfer a belief over to someone else if you don't have it first. What are you going to do? Like when you show up to a sales call, for example, like a great example of this is, I remember one of the sales calls I had pretty early in my career where I was brand new. I had this person I was talking with, like a young guy who I was gonna help get into a program. I was working for this pretty big influencer in the US who was selling a program teaching people how to make money online with a specific business model. And this guy was like super scared of taking action. He was super uncomfortable. He's never invested a big amount of money into himself before. And he was just like scared of the idea altogether. And I remember on that call, at that point, I hadn't invested that big of an amount of money into myself. So I started kind of handling that objection. I was like, hey man, I think you should do it. And I kind of try to coach him through it. I said the right stuff that I'd learned from some sales coach and the script and the objection handling trainings that I'd been through. So I said the right stuff. But I didn't challenge that person deeply, so he didn't buy. I didn't help the person. Then a couple of weeks later, I went out and I invested into a super high ticket, 8K coaching program to get into, or to get better at high ticket sales, get proper training, one-on-one, etc. And I was pretty much at the time all the savings that I had. I had about like 10K saved up. The program was 8.8K, so I went down to 1K in my bank account. So like 90% of my bank account was depleted of my net worth. Huge step, super comfortable to do. But I did that because I understood that the closer, the guy that sold me that program, he told me, it's like, Alex, if you want to make 10K a month, you need to align yourself with what you want your prospects to do. You can only lead other people to the same capacity you can lead yourself. And it made sense to me, so I took that step even though it was super uncomfortable. And then guess what happened? The week after, I had a similar prospect who had all of his savings tied up into stocks and investments and was super scared to invest in himself because he's never done that before. But because of what I just done the week before, I'd aligned myself with who he wanted to become and acted in alignment with who he needed to be. I was able to challenge him because I just done that shit. I just went through the fear, the nerves, all the uncomfortable feelings with investing in myself. I had done that stuff so I could lead him through those emotions in the call and close that deal. This is called self-actualization. You actualize who you want your prospects to be, you align yourself with who they need to be, and that's when you show up in your calls, and you're so much more powerful. It's not about the script. You don't even need to learn some new word tracks or some new like scripting to say. You just align yourself with who you want your prospects to be, and you're the leader that they need on the call. And then the natural things to say, like the word tracks, the questions to ask, the things to say to make them change their mind, it comes naturally because of who you are. Identity drives everything, and you're never gonna outsell your own identity. You can try as hard as you want, but at the end of the day, you will never show up to a call like that with someone who's super scared, who's never invested in themselves, and challenge them to the highest degree if you've never done it yourself. It's not going to work. And this is why I believe deep down that it's so unethical trying to get into the high ticket sales space without at least investing once high ticket into yourself, because you're completely unaligned. It's like the core of who you are. And this stuff matters 10 times more than all sales tactics. And when you do this, and I'll show you how to actually apply this in a second, I'll tell you how to actually apply this. But when you do this, you will notice that your calls become so much more natural. It becomes less about selling, it becomes more about just having a real conversation and transferring how you think, your own standards, your own beliefs over to the other person. And that's this highest level of high ticket sales. That's when this actually becomes enjoyable, because you don't need to be reading some script on your calls and being this robot. You can show up as your real self, have fun on your calls, and genuinely just help people. And that's why I love high ticket sales, because that's what it truly comes down to when you get to this level. So how do you actually apply this? How do you get to this point where your calls become effortless like this? And you should start just having fun conversations. You end up making way more money as well and becoming a proper leader and actually developing the skill properly. It's by starting off right now, today, with getting extremely clear on who you need to be in order to make the money you want to be making in high ticket sales. Think to yourself, the closer that you want to become, if your goal is becoming closer right now, making, let's say, 10K a month, think to yourself, how do you need to show up to lead people on a sales call? Who do you need to be able to lead people on your sales calls? Do you need to invest in yourself? Do you need to be able to make more effective and faster decisions? Do you need to start holding promises to yourself? You can hold people accountable. Think to yourself, like, who do you need to be as a leader to then show up to a sales call and powerfully lead other people? And I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest things that you need to start doing is start holding promises to yourself. Stop saying you're going to do something and breaking those promises. Stop saying you're going to take action on your goals and then pushing it off. Stop saying you're going to, whatever it's like, let's say invest in yourself or take action on starting a business and then pushing it off a week, pushing it off another week and doing more research. Start holding your promises to yourself and getting very strict with this. This is one of the biggest things that I had to do, is just completely let go of stuff that I was doing in the past, which was, okay, I'm going to say I'm going to take action on something. I say I'm gonna, even like talking to the friends and family, making promises, say I'm gonna go to sleep at a certain time to myself or wake up at a certain time, going to work out. It's like getting extremely good at never breaking promise yourself. Because what that does is it creates this conviction. It creates this belief in your head that when you say you're gonna do something, you do it. When you're always like over and over again, you always do what you say you're gonna do, you never miss on that, it makes you this like very like strong and very convicted person, which then carries over into sales calls. Imagine right now if you, for the next month, you never break a single promise to yourself. The level of conviction that you would have is insane. And I felt this firsthand in my sales calls. Like when I'm locked in, I stick to the words and the promise I set myself. I show up in a sales call, and I can just like naturally just attract closes. I just close deals naturally because of who I am. People buy into your energy. People can feel that. They can feel that you're a leader, that you have your life in place, and they buy into that energy. People buy from someone that they want to be like. And if you're just very, very dialed in your life, you're challenging yourself, you're holding promises to yourself, you're aligning yourself with who you want to be, you're living up to your highest potential, people feel that. And at that point, sales tactics don't matter. The script doesn't matter. They buy into who you are, and you will notice this black and white, these like overnight shifts in your calls. I saw this big time, like I mentioned before, where I started closing. I started having so much more fun on my calls. My income shot through the roof, and my closing rate went from like low 30% to over 50% when I started doing this. This is the cheat code. This is how you get to the highest level, how you quickly learn the skill. It's by changing who you are fundamentally and how you act and how you view yourself. And that's when success in high-ticket sales, it comes naturally, it becomes a byproduct because you are the leader that you need to be internally. And that's where you can show up to a sales call and people just buy into you and you end up making a lot of money. And you end up not being one of those people that is struggling in the space, sit down and follow these shitty scripts and just like seem super robotic and unnatural and end up getting replaced by AI as well. So hope this makes sense. And if you want to learn one-on-one sales from me, get trained up by me directly, get placed into good roles in high-ticket sales, I have a bunch of roles right now inside of my one-on-one coaching, so you can apply down below for this video if you're interested in that, if you're actually serious about getting into the space. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Ciao!